A 22-year-old police officer kidnapped, raped, and murdered a 16-year-old girl.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, YouTube? This is Chris again with No Names Media, and like always, I come with you with another article that I want to share with you all. Now, this is a story about a young lady named Susana Morales who was 16 years old. Back in July, on July 26th of 2022, she was reported missing. She was at a friend's house. Her parents said she was at a friend's house for about 4 hours, around 10 or 10:30. She left her friend's house and was headed home. Unfortunately, Susana never made it home, and her body was found on February 22nd, nearly a year after she went missing. And the person who's been charged with her kidnapping, rape, and murder is a police officer from Georgia, police officer, and his name is Bryant. His last name is Bryant. His first name is Miles. He was a 22-year-old police officer at the Doraville Police Department. He has since been obviously fired and put under arrest. But what happened was they believed at between 10 o'clock and 10:30 he encountered the young lady, Susana, on her way home and abducted her and killed her, raped her and killed her. Her bones were found in the field in the forest. But not only that, along with her corpse, his police service weapon was found at the scene. And that's how they was able to tie him to her murder. That very same day that she was reported missing is the very same day that he reported his service weapon stolen. This police officer has had a history of behavior before and during his time on the force. In one situation, he was reported to have attempting to climb through a neighbor's window. Another one, he was attempting to break into someone's home, and on both occasions the charges were dropped, or people simply didn't file charges against them, which they should have. It may have saved this young lady her life and not allowed this man on the police force. And so that goes into me saying, exactly, do the police know who these people are that they're hiring? Are these people bad before they become police officers? Or does the environment and the culture surrounding policing in the country criminalize these people? And I think these people are bad before they get into policing, and it's their lack of stringent interviewing and investigation into the psyche and the backgrounds of these people, the lack of doing that sort of insight and trying to figure out exactly who are you giving such power to, is leaving the nation with almost $1 billion a year in lawsuits against America's police department. I wonder if this police department in Doraville would have done a psychological evaluation of Miles. Would they have seen that he was incapable and fit to be a police officer? I believe that should be mandatory. That police officer who has such great responsibility and power over that responsibility, to make sure that they're in the right state of mind and that they're not out here hiring supervillains, just seeking and looking for the weakest victims they can find to hurt and harm. Now, this gentleman, I believe he's the police chief. He had a press conference about the situation, about the breaking news. He's going to give you more information about what I said and what we've discussed, and probably give you some things that I may have skipped over or didn't say clearly. So let's listen to what he has to say.
Approximately 6 p.m., we know that Susana Morales left her home On July 26th at approximately 6 p.m., we know that Susana Morales left her home on Santa Ana Drive in Norcross and walked a short distance to the Sterling Glen apartment complex on Indian Trail Road. There, she met with her friend for about 4 hours, and at about 10 o'clock, she began her trek back to her house. We know that between 10 and 10:30 p.m., Susana had an interaction with an individual and ultimately was not seen or heard from again. This case was immediately assigned to our Criminal Investigations Division, who worked diligently on this case and followed up on a number of leads and tips. However, those leads and tips did not come to fruition. We know that on February the 6th, a citizen who was walking in the area of Drowning Creek Road and Highway 316 happened upon skeletal remains. The Gwinnett County Police Department sealed that crime scene. The Gwinnett County Medical Examiner took custody of those remains, and they were positively identified as having belonged to Susana Morales. The following morning, February 7th, we brought out a large contingency of police personnel and conducted a methodical and meticulous search known as a grid search. And during that search, we located a firearm that had been reported stolen on July 27th. This is the same day that Susana was reported missing. That firearm we traced back to a 22-year-old former Doraville police officer named Miles Bryant. Bryant then became a person of interest in our case. We continued investigating, and on February 13th, we secured warrants for concealing the death of another. Since that time, our criminal investigators have been working this case continuously, and we have reached a threshold to where these charges have now been upgraded to felony murder and kidnapping charges.
There's been some reports that there was another woman who had some issues with Bryant. Do you guys believe there are additional victims that either may have been killed by him or may have had some other kind of harmful interaction with him?
So to be clear, we have no information at this time linking Miles Bryant to have harmed someone in a similar fashion. What we do know is that in 2018, Miles Bryant lived next door to a neighbor. We know that in 2018, he went to this neighbor's house and allegedly tried to enter the house through a window. The police were called. We conducted an on-scene investigation. Miles Bryant countered that argument or that allegation. The homeowner in that case did not wish to prosecute, and so that case ultimately was resolved. There is a 2022 case, December of 2022, in which Miles Bryant visited the home of an acquaintance. We believe that he may have tried to enter a residence, and we're conducting an investigation on that case. We do believe that warrants are forthcoming.
All right, so I wonder if Miles, when he reported his gun stolen, firstly, not only is he being charged with felony murder, he's being charged, with kidnapping and reporting a false crime because he falsely reported his gun as stolen when it really wasn't. And I wonder if at any point during him missing his or losing his gun at the crime scene, did he ever go back? I don't understand why he wouldn't go back and pick up and try to look for the gun. Maybe, I'm sure he did, perhaps. Or he probably didn't. I guess he thought because I reported the gun stolen, they're not going to look into me. I'm a police officer. They're going to think the person who stole my gun killed this young lady, which was obviously asinine. It doesn't say her cause and manner of death. The gun was found at the scene, but it could have just as well been strangulation or something along those lines. Now, I wonder what punishment, if any, did Miles face when in 2022 the police spokesman said that he was at an acquaintance's house and he tried to break in. In 2022, this man was an active police officer, still committing crimes and violating people's personal spaces. Miles may be a sociopath or someone with psychological issues where he doesn't understand the boundaries of others. Well, that's pretty obvious with kidnapping and murdering someone, but he has a history, a track record of not respecting boundaries of others, almost like he has antisocial personality disorder or something. And that sort of thing should have been picked up if a psychological evaluation was performed on these police officers before they're hired. It would have saved this young woman's lives, and trust me, I honestly believe it would have saved countless of other Americans' lives who were killed at the hands of police officers if these police officers were forced to get psychological evaluations. These sorts of medical conditions and personality defects are a huge contributing factor to police officers just for unexplainable reason killing people who are unarmed and defenseless. So, as more information about this story comes out, family, I'm going to stay on top of it, share as much as I can with you as often as I can. Please keep a lookout for information and share it with me if you come across it, and I'll go ahead and share it with the rest of the community. So once again, my name is Oscar with No Names Media, and to all my friends, fellow travelers, companions, and lone wolves out there, stay anonymous.